The cosmos glittered like a billion scattered jewels across the inky canvas of space, its ethereal glow softly kissing the warship Aegis's polished hull. Within the command center, Captain Eric Thorne stood resolute, his keen face bathed in the radiant light of holographic projections. He was a natural leader, earning admiration effortlessly, his charisma and strategic genius equally renowned. Yet today, he ventured into uncharted waters, spearheading a delicate mission to broker a truce with the elusive Zeorans, an alien civilization famed for their utilizing cutting-edge tech and enigmatic methods across the galaxy. Empress Serena Vale reigned supreme over her subjects from the lavish throne room of the Celestra, a gigantic biovessel appearing sentient, its crystalline shell pulsating with bioluminescent arteries. Unusually youthful for an empress, she possessed undeniable regal grace, her opalescent skin radiating gently in the soft light. Her intense violet eyes reflected profound wisdom, yet hinted at fleeting vulnerabilities, a rare trait among her steadfast race. Whispers among humans suggested she was eternally unfulfilled. Chose a partner not from a shortage of admirers, but because none could penetrate the enigmatic barriers guarding her heart. Upon receiving intelligence by Earth's Coalition Council concerning the Xylorian Armada clustering at the periphery of human-dominated space, hysteria erupted like a conflagration. Certain factions advocated instant counterattack, while others prioritized negotiation. Ultimately, Captain Thorne was chosen to conduct a compact envoy for discussions with Empress Serena. With the aim of averting a possible interstellar conflict, the consequences were dire. Failure signified obliteration. Success signified existence. Nobody foresaw this mission's transformation into an intricate affair. As the ships converged in neutral space, palpable tension permeated the atmosphere. Mutual distrust lingered, yet collaborative efforts were paramount for prosperity. When the comlink activated, Serena graced the screen, enthroned and accompanied by stoic advisors, while Eric nonchalantly leaned on the console, serene, unfazed by the crushing weight of her duties. "Empress Serena," Eric commenced, his voice a polished cadence, "I convey humanity's earnest salutations and a proposition of symbiotic advantage." Serena inclined her head subtly, those captivating violet eyes scrutinizing him with profound interest. "Captain Thorne," she responded, her voice a sweet melody laced with caution. "Your presence is unforeseen, yet fate has intervened. State your terms, and let us commence." Thus began the initial, hesitant dance towards comprehension between two profoundly distinct civilizations. Unbeknownst to them, this intersection would ignite transformations neither could have predicted. The parley stretched far beyond anticipated timelines, punctuated by strained dialogues and prudent investigations. Each deliberation unfolded aboard the Celestra, where the vessel's living architecture imbued every gathering with an otherworldly quality. The very walls appeared to pulse, their hues subtly morphing as if attuned to the ebb and flow of conversation. For Eric, sensing the atmosphere felt like entering an alternate reality where rationale intertwined with intuition. Tensions escalated during a fierce debate when Serena challenged humanity's genuine motives. An advisor blamed humans for spying, referencing intercepted messages hinting at clandestine activities close to Xylorian boundaries. Eric gently rebutted, clarifying those expeditions were strictly for discovery, focused on charting unknown areas, not infringing upon Zeoran authority. Weary of the impasse, Eric opted for a swift change of strategy. Eschewing further defensive justification, he intently locked eyes with Serena, inquiring with a playful yet captivating tone. "Got a map?" Her exquisite features betrayed a fleeting bewilderment. "A map?" He nodded, a mischievous grin playing on his lips. "Indeed, I'm constantly finding myself lost in the depths of your eyes." An expectant hush descended. Even the omnipresent hum of the bioship seemed to momentarily cease as Serena, taken aback by his audacious remark, blushed subtly. A blush ascended her neck, blooming across her luminous cheeks, a phenomenon and so scarce among her kind that it elicited surprised looks from even her closest advisors. She subtly cleared her throat, diverting her gaze to feign interest in data on her console, but the subtle upturn of her lips unveiled her delight. "Very well," she uttered after a pause, her voice laced with a hint of playful shyness. "Perhaps I shall furnish you with the coordinates then, though I must forewarn you, my navigational prowess leaves something to be desired." Eric chuckled, reclining in his seat. "Don't fret, Empress. I'm more than willing to gamble for this unique experience." Ever since their rendezvous commenced, the ambiance mellowed, the tension evaporated into an almost amicable lightness. They proceeded with term discussions, now invigorated by a fresh dynamic, a delicate flirtatious undercurrent entwined with the gravity of their endeavor. Serena's consultants seemed disquieted, murmuring amongst themselves, as Eric's staff fought to restrain their mirthful smiles. Later that night, during a short intermission, Eric roamed the Celestra's passageways solo, captivated not merely by its extraterrestrial architecture, yet it felt dynamically alive, responding to his presence. Rounding a bend, he almost bumped into Serena, clad in more modest attire, her hair cascading freely. She appeared startled, swiftly regaining composure. "Captain Thorne," she acknowledged, offering a courteous nod. "Hopelessly lost, I presume?" Eric chuckled, gesturing theatrically at the labyrinthine corridors. "Utterly bewildered. Perhaps you were correct about requiring navigational aids." Her spontaneous laughter, melodious and inviting, escaped her lips. "Follow me, then," stated, gesturing forward. "Allow me to present the gardens, a tranquil haven to center yourself." They strolled side by side, exchanging narratives of their distinctive realities. Eric shared tales of Earth's boundless oceans and bustling metropolises, while Serena depicted Zeoria's ethereal floating cities and the radiant, nocturnally melodious forests. Their interaction developed organically, surmounting divides between civilizations, but more significantly, between souls. Upon reaching the gardens, a stunning vista of iridescent vegetation and elegant waterfalls, Eric understood that he hadn't pondered negotiation tactics or diplomatic finesse during their promenade. Serena paused by a starlit pool, pivoting to confront him. "You're remarkably distinct for a human Captain Thorne, and uniquely captivating for an empress," he responded, his gaze unwavering, devoid of jest, solely pure admiration. Her gentle smile flickered, eyes briefly downcast, before meeting his once more, perhaps collaborative concord. Can be forged, subsequently, their bond intensified daily, solidifying amidst forthcoming adversities, nevertheless concealed beneath the lurking dangers, couldn't be ignored. Political machinations, age-old biases, and powerful adversaries sought to shatter their delicate bond. A subtle romance blossomed amidst a burgeoning trust, but ominous shadows loomed, poised to extract truths they dared not reveal. Whispers spread amongst the Aegis crew regarding Captain Thorne's captivating connection with Empress Serena. Some were amazed by his talent. Others grumbled with skepticism. Regarding skewed focus, Lieutenant Mara Kale, Eric's deputy, observed the escalating situation with combined worry and frustration. While she held profound respect for Eric, having fought beside him for ages, she feared personal affairs could impair his decisions. "Sir, you're treading treacherous waters," she cautioned during a late-night briefing. "Romancing an alien empress isn't exactly regulation." Eric peered up from his datapad, arching a brow. "Relax, Lieutenant. It's merely innocent flirtation. Furthermore, remarkably, it's advancing. We've achieved more headway recently than in weeks," he noted. Mara, arms crossed skeptically, retorted, "Advancement is irrelevant if it sacrifices integrity. Whispers are circulating here and abroad. If the rumor spreads that you're aligning with Serena, it could jeopardize our entire mission." He sighed, setting down the datapad. "I value your frankness, Mara, but let's remember our purpose. Diplomacy transcends treaties. It's about cultivating relationships, trust. If sharing a few laughs fosters connection with the Xylorans, I'm all for it." But before Mara could reply, piercing alarms shrieked through the ship, jolting them. Crimson lights pulsed across the bridge, and deafening klaxons reverberated down every corridor. Eric shot up, issuing sharp commands as the crew swiftly mobilized. "Situation report," he barked, heading towards the viewport. "Hostile vessel detected, Captain," Ninria declared, her fingers dancing across the console. "Unknown signature, rapidly approaching, sleek black silhouette." A warship ripped through the void, its serrated edges gleaming with menacing armaments. Unmarked, its belligerent stance screamed its purpose. Eric's jaw clenched as he scanned the data. "Identification?" "Nothing in our records," Mara responded gravely. "But they're transmitting an intensely encrypted signal, likely aimed at the Celestra." Serena's voice burst through the comms, laced with frantic concern. "Captain Thorne, we're picking up covert maneuvers in our vicinity. Any unusual contacts?" "Affirmative, Empress," Eric responded, his voice steady despite the surging adrenaline. "We're tracking an unknown entity rapidly approaching your location. Await immediate directives." A cautionary blast whizzed past Celestra, a hair's breadth away. The biovessel convulsed violently, defenses struggling to recalibrate. Comprehension dawned across both bridge crews. These intruders weren't seeking dialogue, they craved pandemonium. "Raise shields," Eric commanded, hand clamped on the railing as the Aegis repositioned itself. "Brace yourselves," initiating evasive protocols. "Hail them once more. Let's ascertain their willingness to parley." "They're aggressively jamming our transmissions," Mara stated. Tersely, silence. Serena's voice cut through, now edged with urgency. "Captain Thorne, we cannot permit them to penetrate our defensive perimeter. My people's safety rests on my protection." "Understood," Eric affirmed, his mind grappling with the situation. "Stall them until you can recalibrate the shields. Maintain proximity. We'll provide cover." The conflict ignited. The Aegis unleashed a devastating volley of plasma torpedoes, compelling the hostile vessel to alter its trajectory. Detonations rocked the void, illuminated the abyss as the two spacecrafts traded volleys, their maneuvers fluid and pinpoint, while the Celestra surged with power, its organic systems acclimating to the barrage with astonishing tenacity amidst the pandemonium. Eric was awestruck by Serena's command. Even facing peril, her tone remained calm. relaying directives to her team with subtle confidence. He was captivated by her fortitude, and it reinforced his resolve to shield her, irrespective of the sacrifice. As the clash intensified, though it dawned that with both ships critically damaged and resources dwindling at an alarming rate, reinforcements were desperately required. Eric, understanding their unsustainable position, reluctantly gave Mara the order he had dreaded. "Command, we urgently require immediate backup." But as the message went out, a terrifying truth dawned on him. These attackers were no mere pirates or mercenaries. Their impeccable timing and unnerving knowledge of Xylos's weaknesses suggested a chilling betrayal, perhaps originating from within the coalition or even Serena's inner circle. As the dust began to dissipate and the smoke thinned, Eric was gripped by a growing unease that the nightmare had only just begun in the wake of the onslaught. The atmosphere aboard both vessels underwent a palpable transformation. Repairs were initiated, yet the psychological impact bore down on everyone, relentlessly. On the Celestra Empress, Serena withdrew into her personal quarters, seeking refuge from the chaos. The act of treachery wounded her more profoundly than any physical harm. It was an attack not just on her ship, but on her very faith. Her confidants implored her for choices advocating prudence and immediate reprisal, but she stayed mute, consumed by her thoughts. Concurrently, on the Aegis, Captain Eric Thorne battled his inner turmoil. The attackers' veiled identities tormented him, fueling his agitation. He strode across his quarters, meticulously reviewing the incident, seeking overlooked details. Intuition insisted this wasn't mere hostility, but a premeditated act. Someone aimed to undermine the delicate peace negotiations, executing their plan flawlessly. Eventually, Eric summoned a confidential audience with Serena. She acquiesced cautiously, discerning the gravity in his voice. They convened in their cherished garden, previously a haven of laughter, now burdened by palpable unease. Luminous flora projected spectral silhouettes, while the once comforting cascades whispered somberly. "We must confer," Eric initiated, his visage severe. This was no random assault. Our attacker possessed precise knowledge of our identities and intentions. Serena offered a measured nod, her violet orbs reflecting apprehension. Gripped by foreboding, I've reached an identical conclusion, yet unmasking the instigators will be exceedingly challenging. My inner circle is already casting aspersions on your alliance, asserting this solidifies humanity's inherent untrustworthiness. "That's preposterous," Eric retorted, visibly exasperated. "If anything, this reeks of an internal conspiracy. Someone within your ranks engineered this to falsely portray us as the villains." Her expression intensified, her eyes narrowing perceptibly. "Are you implicating my people?" "Absolutely not," he stated resolutely, maintaining unwavering eye contact. "I'm proposing collaborative effort to expose the underlying reality. Divided, we are. Vulnerable, fortified, we persevere, our odds enhanced." A protracted pause ensued. Neither ventured a word. The hush grew taut, disturbed solely by leaves whispering in the distance. Then Serena emitted a sharp exhale, her shoulders slumping, appearing to shed a massive weight. "Very well," she relented softly. "What strategic course do you advocate?" Eric advanced, his tone lowered. "We orchestrate a calculated ambush. The mastermind behind these machinations will undoubtedly resurface, presuming their divisive tactics have proven fruitful. Let us leverage this assumption to our distinct advantage." Despite initial reservations, Serena ultimately concurred, acknowledging the inherent soundness of in the coming days. Their scheme hinged on cleverness. They covertly funneled misinformation via meticulously controlled networks. A perilous gamble, yet both recognized the gravity. Failure meant utter collapse of their painstakingly forged alliance. As preparations advanced, glimmers of normalcy flickered. Eric, revisiting the gardens, recalled their prior talk and discovered Serena by the pool, deep in thought. She looked up, offering a glance, a faint smile barely touching her eyes. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered gently. "It's far too perilous." "No safer than being confined to your chambers," he retorted, settling comfortably beside her. "Besides, I suspected you might appreciate the companionship." Her lips almost curved into a smile. "You always seem to possess the perfect words, don't you?" "Not invariably," he confessed with a good-natured chuckle. "Sometimes I blunder into situations, like that map remark. I never anticipated such a charming blush." To his utter amusement, she obliged, her cheeks tinged with a silvery hue. "Impossible," she quipped gently, poking him playfully, maybe secretly enjoying it. Their laughter filled a short break in the tense atmosphere. They hoped it wouldn't destroy them. What they didn't know was the real danger was nearer than suspected in the ranks, a traitor weaving a web of lies. Inevitably, when the stark truth emerged, it would challenge not just their bravery, but the bedrock of their evolving connection. The snare was intricately woven, a subtle dance of guile and audacity. Fabricated accounts of a hush-hush tryst between Captain Eric Thorne and Empress Serena were strategically disseminated, infiltrating networks notorious for being under surveillance by entities inimical to their coalition. The lure dangled seductively, purported proof of a covert pact supposedly forged in the garden, where they'd exchanged mirth and illicit looks. It was a calculated risk, but one. Both commanders deemed vital to eliminate the insurgents hiding covertly. Tension escalated significantly on both vessels as they braced for conflict. Crew members murmured anxiously, contemplating the aftermath. On the Aegis, Lieutenant Mara maintained heightened surveillance, her keen eyes monitoring sensor readings for any indication of activity alongside her ensign. Rhea worked intensely at her station, diverting energy to key systems in anticipation of battle simultaneously aboard the Celestra. Serena's counselors panicked openly, pressing her to reject the gambit and reinforce their protections. Instead, "This is utter lunacy," one advisor spat during a volatile council meeting. "If the enemy retaliates, we'll be utterly vulnerable." Serena, presiding at the head, raised a steadying hand. "Endure," she stated calmly, her knuckles stark white as she clutched the chair. "Captain Thorne and I have exhaustively strategized. Have faith in the design, or succumb to despair." Her pronouncement hushed the dissenters, yet a heavy disquiet persisted, thick as the bioship's drone. The hours crawled with excruciating slowness, each second an unbearable stretch. Just as hopelessness threatened to engulf them, sensors registered a blip, a solitary vessel tearing through hyperspace, its course undeniably set for their rendezvous. "They're here," Eric announced, his voice a strained whisper of hope. "Acquire their signal. Prep for immediate confrontation." The hostile ship advanced warily, clearly suspicious of an ambush, but arrogance trumped their caution. The pilot gravely underestimated their target's unwavering grit. As it closed the gap, the Aegis and Celesta unleashed their synchronized response with deadly, practiced efficiency. Shields flared to life, weapons primed. With boarding teams poised, a feigned weakness lured the enemy closer. The ship unleashed a devastating barrage, springing the trap. Plasma cannons erupted, sandwiching the attacker. Caught unaware, shields buckled under the fierce onslaught. Driven to desperation, the vessel retaliated chaotically, seeking escape. Explosions illuminated the void as Eric and Serena coordinated flawlessly. Voices steady anchors amid the storm. "Maintain formation," Eric asserted, his focus unwavering on the tactical display. "We cannot afford their escape," Serena concurred, her voice resolute despite the palpable tension. "My squadron stands prepared for boarding action, should it prove necessary." The conflict intensified, neither force conceding ground. Ultimately, after an eternity of struggle, the enemy vessel convulsed violently, its engines faltering as vital systems succumbed. With no recourse remaining, a surrender signal was transmitted, requesting sanctuary under interstellar protocols. Eric paused, his gaze flickering. At Serena's image emblazoned on the view screen, her violet eyes reflected his turbulent inner turmoil. "Shall we proceed?" he inquired softly. She offered a subtle nod, though her countenance remained cautious. "Indeed, we must. The truth awaits us inside." Assault teams swarmed the disabled ship spearheaded by Eric himself, accompanied by a squadron of elite Xylorian soldiers. What awaited them surpassed comprehension. A lone figure secured to the cockpit chair by rudimentary restraints, their identity concealed beneath a web of cybernetic augmentations. As the individual was escorted to the Celestra for further examination-interrogation, the truth began to emerge. A chilling truth more sinister than anticipated. The captive, a disavowed agent known as Kaith, disclosed pieces of an expansive plot implicating influential figures across factions, motivated by aspirations of dominion and riches. These traitors aimed to spark a conflict between humans and Xylorians, convinced discord would advance their ambitions. Revelations reverberated through delegations as identities were exposed. Alliances crumbled, and faith eroded. However, amidst the chaos, intriguingly, an extraordinary discovery materialized. Confronted by treachery from within, Eric and Serena stood as one, their connection intensified by mutual hardship. United, they pledged to eradicate corruption and reconstruct the alliance, not simply as envoys, but as collaborators in a purpose exceeding their own aspirations. Nonetheless, uncertainties persisted. Who else had been undermined? How profound was the decay? And crucially, could they genuinely transcend ages of skepticism to shape a destiny worthy of their struggle? The answer would only be revealed as day illuminated the nebula embracing their vessels, projecting otherworldly light. As twilight painted the battlefield, now a sanctuary, Eric and Serena stood together on Celestra's observation deck. The view was stunning, a stellar tapestry of swirling nebulae and faint vessel lights, healing from battle. Yet their gaze remained inward, focused on the daunting task ahead. Kaitha's disclosure unveiled a complex web of deceit, seemingly insurmountable. The names of betrayers reverberated in their thoughts. Esteemed counselors, honored officers, and even members of Serena's innermost circle. Each revelation struck like a blow, gradually eroded the very bedrock of their worlds, revealing fissures that plunged far beyond their gravest fears. Yet from those ashes, a fragile hope began to bloom, Serena voiced cutting through the quiet, her words laden with regret, but brimming with resolve. While we are unable to rewind the past, we retain the right to forge our future. Eric affirmed, hands clasped firmly behind his back. Transparency and rigorous accountability. These are now our unwavering tenets. The era of clandestine dealings ends. Turning towards him, her violet eyes sought answers in his gaze. And where do we fit into this new reality? Meeting her gaze head-on, a subtle smile touched his lips. Precisely here, united. Whatever the future holds, we confront it as absolute equals. Her lips blossomed into a smile, a hint of warmth melting her composed facade. Equals indeed, but perhaps... The question lingered, suspended, fragile yet weighty. Silence hung, permitting an unspoken vow to root itself. Foes turned comrades, now impossibly entwined by an undeniable, nameless bloom. Its endurance remained unseen, yet its presence was fulfilling. Aboard the Aegis, Lieutenant Mara Kale observed with divided sentiment. Respecting Eric's command, she fretted over his deepening bond with Serena. Humanity's past echoed with instances of commanders whose private lives impaired their rationale, triggering devastating outcomes, linger. Nevertheless, she recognized the palpable surge in spirits among the crew, witnessing their captain discovering comfort, potentially affection, in the unlikeliest corner, igniting a solidarity that overcame species differences. Astonishing, Ensign Rhea whispered in the mess hall. Captain Thorne, captivated by an alien empress. Mara smirked, taking a deliberate sip of her coffee. Far stranger phenomena have occurred. Rhea thoughtfully inclined her head. Do you believe this will endure? Mara paused, contemplating the inquiry. Does permanence truly hold significance? Affection, or whatever this connection embodies, isn't defined by longevity. It's about enriching the present moment. Aboard the Celestra, Serena confronted her own trials. Her counselors, rattled by the revealed corruption, urgently implored her to dissolve all bonds with humankind. Their nature is volatile, one asserted fiercely. Their sentiments propel them towards impetuous actions. Decisions. Can we genuinely trust them? Serena listened intently, her expression inscrutable. When she finally vocalized, her voice resonated with the weight of ages and the unwavering resolve of discovery. Trust isn't freely offered, nor should it be taken for granted. Yet it shouldn't be unjustly withheld. Humanity has demonstrated remarkable valor and selflessness. To falter now would betray all we've striven for. Her pronouncements quelled the opposition, though doubt lingered beneath the facade. Transformation, she understood, would be arduous, but transformation was inevitable, was an unavoidable and vital step. As restoration advanced and inquiries intensified, strategies were initiated to tackle the deep-seated problems affecting both societies. Collaborative units were formed to eradicate corruption, while cultural immersion initiatives sought to nurture comprehension and compassion. It was a formidable endeavor, filled with perils and uncertainties, yet Eric and Serena faced it with steadfast determination one night. While wandering through the gardens again, Eric stopped by the tranquil pond. You realize, he contemplated, maps transcend mere navigation. They're potent testaments that even amidst disorientation, a path emerges. Serena's heart overflowed. Perhaps gratitude is owed for losing yourself in my gaze, she playfully jibed. Chuckling, he clasped her hand. This juncture is ideal to inaugurate our shared odyssey. Under the celestial tapestry, their intertwined souls, destined yet deliberate, poised to pioneer uncharted realms. The impending voyage promised. Teeming with danger, they confronted it bravely, holding steadfastly to the conviction that love, in its myriad forms, could span even the most profound divides. The years advanced, and the connection between Eric Thorne and Serena Vale intensified exponentially. Their alliance, initially a pragmatic union conceived amidst strife and deceit, bloomed into a profound love that transcended limitations, uniting not only species, but entire realms. As they devoted themselves to mending wounds inflicted by perfidy and doubt, their endeavors yielded unexpected and wonderful results. Envisioned collaborative task forces designed to eradicate corruption, evolving into paragons of transparency and solidarity, garnering immense respect throughout both human and Zioran realms. Vibrant cultural exchange initiatives bloomed, nurturing profound understanding and empathy between the two civilizations. Narratives of mutual victories eclipsed antiquated tales of hostility, and for the first time in recorded history, humans and Xylorans perceived one another not as outsiders or rivals, but as kindred spirits united by an intertwined fate. Within this sea of transformative progress, Eric and Serena discovered fleeting instances of serene happiness. Together, they often escaped to Celestra's gardens, their romance's birthplace, now a sanctuary of tranquility and rebirth. One starlit evening, beneath radiant flora and flowing waterfalls, Eric, deeply moved, knelt before Serena, presenting a delicate ring crafted from earth and Xyloria, his voice filled with heartfelt emotion. "Serena," he began, "my guiding star, through tempests you've navigated me, proving love's boundless nature. Distance, disparity, even cosmic expanses cannot deter it. Will you grace me with the immeasurable joy of becoming my wife?" Serena's violet eyes shimmered with tears, her heart overflowing with profound gratitude and affection. "Eric," she breathed, her voice laced with emotion, "you are my celestial beacon, my steadfast anchor in this ever-shifting universe. Yes, unequivocally, yes, I will marry you." Their celestial union resonated across planets and solar systems, a radiant symbol of the extraordinary heights attainable when hearts intertwine. The wedding blossomed into a captivating fusion of traditions, weaving together vibrant music, profound rituals, and meaningful symbols, celebrating their distinct heritages while pioneering a shared future. Humans and Zurans united, witnessing history as Eric and Serena exchanged vows beneath a breathtaking canopy of bioluminescent flora. Married life ushered in fresh adventures. Together, they masterfully balanced leadership responsibilities with the profound joys of family life, their children. 3 children emerged, legacies of 2 worlds, radiant, moonlit skin touched by dawn, amethyst eyes sparking with golden fire, and laughter like chiming stars. These children were living testaments to harmony, beacons of hope for the ages. Eric and Serena nurtured them with unwavering love and insightful guidance, instilling empathy, bravery, and boundless curiosity. They thrived, discovering the wonders of both Earth and Xylora, embracing diversity's exquisite tapestry. On Earth, they were captivated by the ocean's profound depths and Zioria's towering peaks. They waltzed through radiant forests, harmonizing with beings whose songs wove dreams into tangible reality. As time progressed, Eric and Serena gracefully transitioned from active diplomacy, empowering the succeeding generation to champion the cause of peace. Their legacy endured, not merely in agreements and partnerships, but in the myriad lives transformed by their harmonious vision. Roads bore their names, ballads echoed their valor, and legends circulated around campfires, recounting the tale of the human captain and the Xylorian empress. In their golden years, history's shapers, Eric and Serena, revisited the gardens on the Celestra, now a beloved haven for their grandkids. Hand in hand, they strolled through radiant flora, observing the lively play and laughter of youth, their voices merging with the bioship's soft drone. Enveloped by affection and vitality, they discovered serenity, a profound fulfillment born from the conviction of leaving a positive cosmic legacy. One starlit evening, as they sat side by side, Serena leaned. Nestled against Eric, she reminisced, "Remember that fateful day you became utterly lost in my gaze." A teasing grin danced upon her lips. Erase it from memory? Impossible, he chuckled gently. It unexpectedly became life's most rewarding deviation. Giggles escaped her, violet eyes alive with playful intrigue. And remarkably, we're still navigating this journey, side by side. Affirmative, he murmured, drawing her near. Here we are. They settled into a comfortable quietude, luxuriating in the glow of a fulfilling existence. Although an infinite galaxy lay ahead, brimming with untold wonders, they recognized they possessed all that truly mattered: their unbreakable bond, their cherished family, and the eternal strength of love. Thus, their narrative gracefully concluded, an epic of bravery and kinship, of conquered hardships and fulfilled aspirations. Eric and Serena demonstrated that love, when cultivated with unwavering trust and steadfast resilience, could bridge even the most profound divides, forging an immortal legacy that would illuminate the cosmos for eternity, radiant enough for Ian to observe